Hare Krishna. So you might not have heard of this, but there's a thing called Sologamy. And it was invented about 10 years ago, in the early 2000s. And it sounds really strange, but Sologamy means to marry yourself, to be married to your own self. So that sounds really weird, like what? What are you talking about, right? But in Sologamy, people actually make marriage vows and they make big celebrations, like the women dress up with the whole, gown and the white style and, and the 3-layered cake, and they invite friends, and the whole thing happens. You can go all the way, and you actually make like a marriage vow with yourself. And it all sounds really kooky at first. Sounds really, that sounds stupid. But it's actually not. It's actually quite an interesting concept, because Sologamy means that you are cultivating self-love. Sologamy is it's a ritual. It's a moment to celebrate your love for yourself. And that's actually really important. Some people are embarrassed or see negatively the concept of loving yourself. Some people think, oh no, you have to just do for others, live for others, and love God, and this loving yourself is selfishness. It's not. It's not though, because first you have to be well here, you have to be whole. You have to be really solid in here, so then you can emanate love, then you can do other things. Our great master Prabhupada, he used to give the simple example that you can't save other people from drowning if you're drowning yourself, right? There's a shipwreck and you're hardly staying afloat. What are you going to do? You're going to try to save somebody else? Not even saving yourself. So how are you going to save somebody else? So first, you have to be well. You have to make sure you're floating, and then you can save other people from drowning. In airlines, if you've flown, it was always thought it was a bit shocking. When they teach you about the little oxygen mask, and they give you this instruction: if you have children with you, first put the mask on yourself, then put it on your children. You're like, shouldn't you try to save your children first? But then it's obvious, no, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to save anyone, including your children. So if you pass out from lack of oxygen, then how are you going to help your children? You're not going to help anyone, and so everybody's going to suffer. So first you put the oxygen mask on yourself, and then you put it on your children, because then you know for sure that you'll be able to help everybody else. You'll be in a firm, solid condition to help others. And it's the same thing with life. You have to first love yourself to be able to love others. And I'll go as far as saying you have to love yourself before you can even love God. Because think of it as a parent. Sometimes we think of God and we get a little lost in the greatness of God and oh, God is everything. Yeah, fine, but let's think of God as He Himself presents Himself as Father. I like thinking of God as Father because it makes it personal. He Himself says He's a father and a mother and the grandfather. So think of God as Father, as a great Father. Now, if you are a father, if you know anything about fathers, at least you must have one. A good father first wants to see the child happy. That's the priority of a father, is to see that his child is happy. You won't really satisfy your father if you're not happy. If you're not doing well, no good father will be happy. So the first thing a father wants is to see you happy. So God, our Father, the first thing He wants is to see you well. And you well means you're loving yourself, means you're whole. You love yourself, you're strong, you're confident, you're accepting who you are, and then from that point, from that strong basis, then you're doing other things, including loving Him. I don't want to see a child, I don't want to see my son saying he loves me, but he doesn't take care of himself. He's miserable. Oh, but I love you, Father. But you're miserable, so something went wrong. No, that doesn't work. That's not good. So first love yourself, then love others, including God. So sologamy is this great idea of just loving yourself, making this vow, making it a ritual, like, okay, from this point on, I'm really serious about loving myself. I really like being with myself, I accept myself, and I'm going to be the best person to myself. I'm going to be my best friend. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna uses that. He says, first you have to be your very best friend. Atma, sometimes it's translated as mind, sometimes it's translated just as self. You have to love yourself. He says you can be your best friend and you can be your worst enemy. If you have self-control, if you love yourself, then you can be your best friend. And if you don't control yourself, if you're just making a mess of your own life, then you're going to be your worst enemy. So you have to be your best friend. You have to love yourself first to have a good life. So that's sologamy for you. Marriage to your own self. Then you can marry other people as well, of course. But it's this declaration of self-love that's catching on more and more. Sologamy. That's it. Hare Krishna.